The government's long pending plan to sell its stakes in Pawan Hans has hit a major roadblock. Pawan Hans provides helicopter services for oil exploration and it is a joint venture of the Centre and ONGC. Recently, the Centre disqualified the successful private bidder. The expression of interest for strategic disinvestment has also been annulled. Here's why. The government holds 51% stake in Pawan Hans and the ONGC holds the rest. Now, when did the divestment of Pawan Hans begin and how has it been progressing?
See, the process began in 2016, October 2016, when Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs decided to offloading its entire stake of 51% in Pawan Hans and 49% stake which is held by ONGC. The company had already decided that it will offload its entire stake at the same terms and condition of the government stake selling. After that, 3 attempts were made to offload the stake, but unfortunately, that couldn't materialize. Now, fourth one, where a bidder was selected after all those process, it was actually a consortium which was selected. But since one member of the consortium had got very adverse comment from NCLT, NCLAT, which is the appellate tribunal, and then Insolvency and Banking Board, they also had adverse comment against one of the member. So the condition says that if any member of the consortium has an adverse comment from any of the quasi-judicial body or the judicial body, the entire consortium candidature will be disqualified. So that happened in this case, and finally, the government just early this week decided to disqualify the successful consortium.
What were the grounds on which the bid was disqualified?
Invitation given for EOI, which is the expression of interest. Number of bidders gave their proposal, and one successful bidder was one consortium which was declared successful was led by Star 9 Mobility, which had members like Big Charter Private Limited, Maharaja Aviation Private Limited, and Almas Global Opportunity Fund, which is the AGOF. The problem started with AGOF. First, it was NCLT, Calcutta bench of NCLT gave a ruling against that. Then the matter went into NCLAT, which is the appellate tribunal. Again, there were adverse comment. And finally, IDBI, which is the Insolvency and Banking Board, it also gave adverse comment against AGOF. So the rule says very clearly that if any member of the consortium has some kind of adverse comment or any kind of adverse ruling by judicial body or by the quasi-judicial body like NCLT, then the entire consortium will be disqualified. And this happened in this particular case. And finally, the consortium led by Star 9 Mobility was disqualified and entire EOI was annulled. That means the process of a strategic disinvestment for Pawan Hans has now been stopped.
After this, there is no indication from the government for continuing the disinvestment process. So, how will this impact the Centre's disinvestment for FY24?
See, this is not the first issue when a bidder has been disqualified. Earlier, Central Electronic Limited, another CPSUs, in that case also, the successful bidder was disqualified. So this is a second case. Earlier, what we saw that the disinvestment process of some of the companies had to stop because of the non-participation of bidder. Only one successful case of privatization during last 2 to 3 years is the Air India. Apart from Air India, we have not seen any strategic disinvestment. Now the pipeline is very big. I mean, starting with the CONCOR, Shipping Corporation, there are a number of other companies where the strategic disinvestment has to take place. Now, the big question is that will this kind of development affect the entire disinvestment process? Of course, the sentiment gets affected. There will be some impact on overall disinvestment, especially when we are talking about the privatization. And please do not forget, this is the year just before the general election. Considering the political ramification of any privatization, the government will be very cautious in taking a step on the strategic disinvestment. So there may be companies in pipeline, starting with Shipping Corporation, CONCOR, IDBI Bank, and some others. But we may not see much progress on strategic disinvestment. We may see minority shareholding sell-off, like what we saw in the Coal India, where the government got almost 4,000 crore rupees by selling some of its stake in that particular company. Say 51,000 crore rupees is the disinvestment target for fiscal year 23-24. As of now, they have managed to get almost 4,200 crore rupees as on date, I'm talking about. So if we, considering the market situation, considering the buoyancy in the market and Sensex and Nifty reaching new high, there's a strong possibility that some of the blue chip PSUs may see minority stakes sell. And if we take at least 5 or 6 blue chip PSUs stake sell, then the government will be able to get that amount, 51,000 crore rupees. It is not that difficult. The only issue is that the privatization or the strategic disinvestment may not be in a big way, considering number one, the two example of disqualification of successful bidder, and number two is the forthcoming general poll.